Amongst many questions that were answered today by Denver Broncos head coach Sean Payton, he revealed the team's logic in their decision to release longtime kicker Brandon McManus. Let's take a listen.
Yeah, look, ultimately, you're constantly looking at what's the best interest for your team and relative to, and a lot of times money and what your musts are come into it, and so you guys know this better than anyone, that the transactions, continue here from now until training camp, and there may be a player or two we're still looking to sign. So we factored a lot of that in, and then we made that decision.
So at the end of the day, it really sounds like money was the main factor in the Broncos cutting Brandon McManus. He was designated as a post-June 1st cut. That's why he was not released until this late into the offseason. So the Broncos are going to save nearly $4 million in money with this Brandon McManus release. Now, obviously, it's going to cost at least $1 or $2 million of that money to bring in a replacement kicker, but still, that frees up some money to maybe add some depth on the offensive or defensive line, or save that money for a rainy day in case one of our players gets hurt and we need to add some depth at some point later in the season. So, at the end of the day, it was a hard decision, but also, I feel like Brandon McManus maybe didn't quite fit with the locker room culture that Sean Payton was trying to build. I feel like there was a chance that, based on some of his past incidents with him slamming his helmet when Vic Fangio wouldn't let him try a long field goal, and some of his other sideline outbursts to some of his rants on Twitter and just other stuff, that Brandon McManus as the kicker, although one of the vested veterans on the team, as the kicker, you kind of almost want him to take a back seat a little bit, and it felt like Brandon McManus did not do that. So that may have played into the decision as well, but it ultimately feels like the main reason why the Broncos elected to move on from Brandon McManus is money. Now, as far as a replacement kicker is concerned, Brett Maher seems to be the favorite to win that job, although the Broncos told all three kickers that held tryouts yesterday that no signing would be made until after Memorial Day. The Broncos, along with Maher, tried out Parker White as well as Elliott Fry, but I feel like at the end of the day, this is Brett Maher's job to lose, as he played under Sean Payton with the New Orleans Saints in 2021. Alright guys, I'm curious, how do you guys feel about the team's decision to move on from Brandon McManus, and do you feel like Sean Payton makes sense in his logic here? Drop those comments down below, I would love to hear from you.